was not in any way serious. And there I'll tell you something else which I don't know if you've ever realized it. Because sex, gender, is involved in many other aspects of our everyday peace world. And sexist pricing was documented. Actually, there has been a movement, and this is in England. They discovered that the same items addressed to women, like razors, were priced more expensive than the similar ones that were addressed to men. Similar items, jeans, t-shirts, that are unisex, as a matter of fact. And there was a movement, actually, Boots, the big toiletry store in the UK, has already lowered prices for the items addressed to women. So, what is the solution? First of all, there has to be monitoring of what's going on. And there has to be the education of the public. And when I say the public, I must make a quote, a parenthesis here. I only discovered that I was different, that I was a woman, when I was about 28, I think, maybe older than that. I had never thought about it before. I thought I was just the same as my colleagues. I was in a profession where we were both men and women active. Nothing different, I thought. But then at some point, no, it was earlier than that, it was when I started my specialty, and I wanted a predominantly male specialty, surgery. And I had to face the discrimination there. What are you doing in the operating room? Go and wash your pants. Go in the kitchen. And I had to stand up for my rights. They were eventually respected. But that's when first I realized I must be different from the other person next to me who is wearing pants. And I'll make another comment here. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but all the high-level politicians, from Angela Merkel to Theresa May, to almost all of them, remember, have you noticed how they dress?
Very neutral.
Usually pants and a jacket, a variant of male. But that's another story. So we need training, and we need training both for girls and for boys. And the earliest we start, the better off we are. Because by the age of 18, 19, the stereotypes are already built. If you want to affect these stereotypes, and that's the first part, you have to go earlier. If possible, from kindergarten. And yeah, we'll discuss more. And as I said before, war is not only armed conflicts. Immigration. It's a war that's taking place, and it's affecting hugely the vulnerable, if you want, in quotes, population over there. Women and children. Because unfortunately, I don't know. Anyway, women have to support the social structure. In Venezuela now, because of the crisis, they're selling their hair to support the family. There's another network, Women in International Security. I mentioned it yesterday, I think, or something else. These networks, we're talking about networking. This is one of the networks that's supporting the gender perspective, to be politically correct. They have a database for women with education, with the qualifications for various positions. Every time they're based in the States, but it's international. Every time, for example, there is a change in leadership in the US, now with the new president, they submit the database of women qualified to fill in positions. so that there would be no excuse, I don't know where to find the person who has the qualifications. Here's the database. And there's more networks like that. And I always advocate for creations of such networks in each country. So WIS, Women and International Security, created the scorecard for 1325. What has been done about it the recent 15 years? Nothing, basically. I mean, we've had a lot of conferences, good words, goodwill, and optimism, but not much. Perhaps. Now where I want to go fast, what happened? Well, go. Because basically, anyway, we have to deal with the human population who is unaware, basically, of the issues, because these issues are discussed in closed workshops, like the one we have here. And we were here, how many? Originally 50 people, now we're maybe 20. Still it doesn't go out. The soldiers that have gone out to Afghanistan, your mission, how many of the people in your mission have been educated, informed of what is going on, of what should be going on? So then we had to have the following resolutions, and what I picked up from the recent one was the sexual exploitation. Even today there was a narrative on France 24, I think, one of those international channels that I was listening to this morning, about the huge number of women violated in the various conflict areas. And another point that I picked up was the terrorism. And then what's the solution for these big bureaucratic organizations? Let's allocate some funds there. Now what we do with the funds is a different story. The European Union has used billions of euros on integration. How much did we integrate? Because the people do not integrate. It's very artistic and very nice to say we'll integrate through music or through art. They don't integrate like that. You have to affect the mind. Art and music affect the senses, period. That's my view. Another interesting fact, the representative of China. China, huge power, allocated funds again on girls' health and education. Boys should be there too. So we go to the post-millennium goals, because the millennium goals died some years ago. And again, women are their focus. And you've read about that, you're going to read more. One of the key words that I like, advocate, I want everybody to think it in a broader sense, is dignity. Dignity at every stage, every aspect of ourselves, our people around us, our world. We talked yesterday about sexual assault and the problem of sexual exploitation. This article was published a few days ago about how women are at risk in Mosul because of that issue from their families. So, think globally, act globally too. Take action, get involved, educate. Another of the networks from Los Angeles, making education efforts. Educate the women. There is a serious issue whether women want to be involved in all these procedures. And then I can tell you from my experience, because I have been involved. And at some point, I decided to drop out because, like somebody said yesterday, if you're from Georgia, actually, if you're caught by women policemen, don't negotiate, right? Yeah, we're less eager to negotiate. Another network that also creates databases for women to be promoted. I will finish with definition of gender, because I wanted to be a little bit broader and probably more politically correct today. It is the social and cultural differences. It is not the anatomy today, anyway. This is my final one, food for thought. I definitely believe that men should be first involved. Women should be educated for equal opportunities. Nothing more, nothing less. When I was in the States a million years ago, it was part of my female education, as a matter of fact. One day, my professor at Stanford came up to me and said, "Hi, Licky, there's an article at the San Francisco Chronicle about women in Greece." I said, "What?" "The emancipation of the Greek women." Because in the States, when I told them I'm going to be a surgeon, they said, "Forget it." And there was the Minority Act back in the 70s, where the minority in the States was the black, the Mexican, and women. It's still under effect. Women are a minority to be protected. And I think that's the last one. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your remarks and food for thought. Monitoring is a very important issue, but given the fact that now our perception of media is changing and having the new alternative channels of communication and media platforms, it is, I think, even more difficult. This is what actually Mr. Bono from the Liberal Political Institute will talk about, the social media. So please.
Thank you very much. First of all, thanks for your invitation to this very important research workshop. I'm sorry that my participation starts in the last day of the seminar, but I'm just coming from a conference on migrants issue in Athens, and it was organized by the European Network of Political Foundations and the University of Peloponnesus. And we also visited the Fugitive Center Eleonas in Athens, where probably more than half the people there are women with children, despite of the common Western imagine of the profile of migrants that they are all young men. So I think it's some excuse for not be here from the first day. But before to focus your attention on social media, I want to present you our path in the gender issues. Because our institute is a think tank with main expertise in the campaign management and political marketing. We are preparing people and leading campaigns, mainly electoral campaigns, but also many social campaigns. At the same time, the gender issue is among our first activities from the very beginning after our establishment. Here you can see how we contribute for the achievement one of the recommendations of the resolution 1325, increase representation of women at all decision-making levels, which is maybe the most important thing. Of course, we realize that our project's not because of the resolution, but it's a big link to this workshop. So we started our, after establishment in 2004 on a local level with the project on women in politics, trying to identify the local problems, challenges, needs. And 2 years later, we prepared the big project and invited the leading Bulgarian NGOs working in the field of gender equality in different aspects, starting with the political life, home violence, access to the labor market, and we prepared